Hello, this is Dean Takahashi. I'm the editorial director.
It's Jennifer Svia Bebiyen. I'm the lead writer and the voice and localization producer for Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
And we're here at the DICE Awards. What have you guys won already? What did you win for?
I won for, we were honored with the award for Outstanding Achievement in Story.
Okay. And let's see. Well, I haven't played Clair Obscur, and I did wonder about some things.
Yeah.
Like, it's a long game, right? How do you write story for such a long game?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because when I played, I thought the game might end when the first time you fight Renoir.
Yeah.
That's pretty early in the game by the actual.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I will say that the scope increased. I think at the beginning we were thinking of it as a 20-hour game, and I think now it is around 30 to 40 for the main path, plus like 30 plus for the side content. So it definitely expanded from the initial scope.
Yeah. Except for unskillful players like me, you have to double those.
Double the stuff. But I think from a story perspective, we just followed where the story needed to go. So we didn't really think about it as we need more or less story. Obviously there are some production considerations about, like some enemies we might need to streamline. I mean, there used to be 4 axons, now it's 3 axons, plus you meet the 4th one and it's already dead. So obviously there are some things like that. Oh, sorry. Okay, we can cut that part. No spoilers. But overall, I think we really just focused on what the story needed.
And then how would you say you relate the talk you gave here at DICE to the game, and how you approach, say, writing for the game or creating what you created?
So in the talk that I gave, I talk a lot about curiosity, empathy, and logic, and how using those 3, you can really enrich your own life and also strengthen your abilities in storytelling. I think when I think about curiosity, it's really just trying to understand the world around us, understanding why things are the way they are, just exploring new ideas, new disciplines, and a lot of that exploration made it into the game in terms of being sources of inspiration for little tiny plot points. Anything from small things like Ciel and Gustav working in Aquafarm 3. That was based on my random exploration of hydroponics. I was growing tomatoes in my bathroom. To bigger things such as I did this NASA program where I was locked into a module with 3 other people for 2 months, and we did a analog sort of a mission simulation to an asteroid and back. And so that gave me some context for being with a small team on an exploratory mission, an expedition, if you will. So these are random things that I had done in my life that was curiosity that sort of like influenced a lot of how I thought about different elements in the story. Empathy is also, I think, incredibly important because you need to really empathize with other people to understand them. And when I'm writing a character, I really need to understand who they are and what they want to do in order to really write them authentically and also to make them very compelling, because I think you need to really understand their point of view. And we have characters that have opposing points of view, so you have to be able to switch in terms of who you're rooting for, because when you're writing each character, you have to advocate for them. So that's empathy. And then logic, I think, is, I guess, self-explanatory, but like all of the plot, all of the story points, the world, there needs to be internal logic to the world, and a consistency and an understanding of cause and effect, and how that cause and effect shapes society and the characters and the plot points.
Well, that's a good explanation there. But did the rest of your team ask you why is there a NASA mission in the middle of this fantasy story?
Well, it wasn't explicitly that. It was actually, I think Guillaume and I had actually already agreed to that there should be an expedition, and it wasn't so much that the NASA thing made the expedition. It's more that we decided there'd be an expedition, and when I'm writing, I'm trying to figure out parallels in my own life that I can draw from to write this with, to inform the writing. And so one of the things that I drew from was that experience. So it was the other way around. We decided an expedition, and then I was like, oh, what can I use? What can I lean on or pull from that will help me get in their minds and walk in their shoes?
It's, what made you also decide maybe to put this impending sense of doom throughout the whole game, including at the very beginning of the game? It's like these people know they're doomed.
Yeah.
and you know, we're number 33. You know, everybody failed before us.
Well, that was a hook that Guillaume Broche, our creative director, actually came up with. The idea that people know exactly when they will die because there's this countdown. They all know, and so that was sort of like the starting point. We already knew there would be this doom, and we thought it would be an interesting setup for the story. But in addition to that, this all happened within the context of COVID as well. And so similarly, this was the hook that we came up with, and then I was thinking like, COVID became a very relevant touch point because it was going on while we were working on the story together. And that really informed how I thought a little bit about how would Lumerians feel? How would the characters feel knowing this, like, that there is this death coming and that there's this unknowable force. You have no idea why it's happening. You don't have no idea how you can actually defeat it. And it just seems overwhelming and hopeless. How would they feel? And so I looked around at the real world and how people are reacting in the different situations, the variety of responses, and also a lot of the ethical questions, the moral questions that come up. So that was also a way of thinking about this premise that we had come up with.
So I think part of your talk included a line about like how doing interesting things in the rest of your life outside of work will come back to help your creativity.
The richer your life is outside of writing, the richer your writing will be.
And how did you come to that conclusion too? Like,
I think just over the course of writing, so often I'm thinking about how would the character act or react in this instance. And for me, I feel like I need to understand why the character is doing that. And a lot of times I draw from, I try to find parallels in my own life so that I can write with like authenticity about what they're feeling. So I guess to me it was the logical way to do it, because I'm like, I need to write about somebody who's experiencing this. Is there something that I can think of that's similar so that I can understand what they're feeling in that moment? And when it came to world building, and it was like a thought experiment of, okay, we know this is what happens with the paintress. There's a paintress, there's a monolith, there's a countdown. What happens to society? So I thought about from the moment when the paintress first showed up until today, how would society evolve? And to do that, I had to draw a lot on socioeconomics, societal, like how society is organized, political structures, how do they feed themselves, right? And to understand that, it really drew a lot from a lot of different parts of my studies and various other things. So I do feel like when you have a very rich life outside of writing, when you are really observing the world and understanding different things and experiencing them, you can then channel all of that or use those to kind of find the realism in your story, to find ways to also to elaborate on it and find new plot points and things like that. Yeah.
Well, I kind of work all the time, and so I was thinking, wow, that's not actually good for my creativity. I feel bad about that. But then I thought, hey, wait, I'm a journalist and I talk to somebody different every day.
Yeah.
And I get to do different
Yeah,
stories every day.
exactly.
And
You're observing so many
so
things, and
that's right.
you're absorbing so many things.
Yeah.
And I really genuinely feel that the more we open ourselves up to living our life, there's so many points of inspiration kind of just emerge, and you start to see connections between things. You start to see things that could be interesting that you can use into this. Sometimes I'll just find a collection of random things and try to make a story out of them. And it's funny how you can find a way that things can connect to each other. There's a lot of unexpected connections you can find. It's almost like a game. It's kind of fun, actually.
But I feel better about my life, and that's what this video is all about.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yes,
Thank you.
exactly. Thank you so much. It was lovely to talk to you.
all right, thanks.